Hello everybody, welcome back. It's the Lazy Leprechaun here. We're going over the Steam Winter Sale games under $20. First up, we have a game that we all love and have enjoyed at some point. It's Grand Theft Auto 5 from Rockstar Games, coming in at $14.98 for the Premium Edition. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know what this game entails. It's open world, crazy graphics, crazy gameplay. Story has a bunch of antics in it. It's hilarious. Then there's the online mode in which you can create your own character and enjoy GTA Online with other people. Highly recommend picking up this game if you haven't played it yet, or if you're looking for it on PC. It runs at 4K 60 frames a second. That's always a bonus. Next up, we have Red Dead Redemption 2, another Rockstar game here, coming in at $19.79. Like GTA, it is a beautiful game. It has a almost perfect story. The gunplay is tight. It's a fantastic game overall. Highly recommend picking this up if you haven't played it before. Next up on the list, we have Hades, a roguelike dungeon crawler from Supergiant Games, released a couple years ago. It's coming in at $12.49. Another one, it's fast-paced action. You have to avoid traps. You have to kill bosses. You have to do all this with only one life. And then you have the Greek gods giving you boons and other buffs to help you on your journey. With Hades 2 coming out here in a few months, I highly recommend picking this up so you know where the story is. Next up, we have the Mass Effect Legendary Edition coming in at $14.99. BioWare remade the Legendary Edition in 2021, and they have improved a lot in this game. Remastered graphics, they've changed audio, they've done everything. All the DLC through all games are in here. You do get all three games. The story is great. You get to make choices in game 1 that will affect your outcome in game 3. I know when Mass Effect 3 first came out that people had an issue with the endings. Well, I guess they fixed that. I haven't fully beaten all 3 games yet. But this is a game for $14.99. You'll get about 100 hours plus of content out of it. Highly recommend. Next up, we have Horizon Zero Dawn. Was a PlayStation exclusive at one point. Guerrilla Games brought it over a couple years ago. And it's a beautiful game. It follows the journey of Aloy against these mech dinosaurs. I'm not going to spoil too much in it, but it is a fantastic open world game. Lots of adventure, lots of side things to do. Beautiful graphics again. Highly recommend picking this one up for $16.49. Next up, Halo the Master Chief Collection. Another one of those games, unless you've been living under a rock, Halo, I think just about everybody has played. Now this comes with Halo Reach, Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo 4. Coming in at $15.99. This is a masterpiece collection of one of the best first-person sci-fi shooters that have ever been made. You get to follow the entire story of Master Chief, and you follow the story from Halo Reach and Halo 3 ODST as well, and it kind of blends it all together. You should pick this up now. Next up, we have The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt Complete Edition coming in at $9.99. A beautifully crafted game, one of the best action RPGs that have been released in quite some time. They actually just did a full graphics overhaul. Comes in at about 65 gigs, but if you own the game, it is free to update, and it looks fantastic. They've optimized everything. They've changed textures and music, and the base gameplay is still there. You get all of the DLC with this. You could spend 150, 200 hours before you beat this game. $9.99, you can't beat that deal. Next up, we have Doom Eternal. My last video, games under $5, I covered Doom 2016. Well, now hell has invaded Earth, and you become the Doom guy again to go kick some ass. It has a good soundtrack that is fast-paced action. They've added a lot of verticality to this game which I've enjoyed personally. This is for $7.99 for the Ancient Gods Part 2, or you get the Standard Edition for $9.99. The Deluxe Edition is your best bet if you haven't played the game or you don't own the base game at $17.49. Comes with the Doom campaign, the battle mode, and Year 1 Pass and Deluxe Edition content, which includes both DLCs, both of which I've heard are a bit on the difficult side for Doom, but this is a fantastic game. Alright, next up we have Kena Bridge of Spirits, a game that I've recently downloaded and only played a short portion of, but I can say this game is absolutely beautiful. Ember Lab really shows off their animation prowess in this game. The world itself looks gorgeous. All of the effects are beautiful. The lighting is something else. It's a perfect looking game. The action portion of it could have been polished a little bit more, but this game's coming in at $19.99. It's still fantastic. You will not be disappointed with it. Coming up next, Divinity Original 2 Definitive Edition, coming in at $17.99. This is another one of those games that you could spend a couple hundred hours on. Your choices matter so much in this game. You have this incredibly in-depth, complicated turn-based strategy combat that if you don't leave the map on fire in some way when you're done with a battle, you're doing it wrong. This is a fantastic game. I highly recommend it for anybody who's into CRPGs or tactical RPGs. You get every penny of $17.99 out of this game. Next up, we have a newer game on the list, Metal Hellsinger. It's 34% off at $19.79. There is a demo available as well. This is a rhythm shooter, so it takes a game like Doom and it adds music to it where you have to shoot on beat. And they play some heavy metal, hence the name Metal. It's a fantastic game. I've played through the demo, have yet to buy the full game, but it is so good. And if you're musically inclined, you can keep a beat. It makes it even better to hear the gunshots going as the double bass is going. Next game on the list is Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition. Another PlayStation game makes the list here with Final Fantasy 15, and the Windows Edition is beautiful. They've re-rendered it, they've upscaled it, it has HDR content. It's Final Fantasy 15, so this game is hit or miss for a lot of people. I personally enjoyed Final Fantasy 15 myself. I like the combat, I like the warp striking, I like the environments, I really like the bosses. The story was good, the DLC is even better, and the Windows Edition comes with all of it. For $17.49, it's a great deal. Next up on the list, we have Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. A Dragon Ball Z game where they follow the entire Z series. What a surprise. This is an open world, more RPG experience of the Z saga. If you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, you know the Z saga by now. It is a beautiful world. The anime cutscenes are great. I actually thought quite a few portions of this game got pretty difficult. There were some difficulty spikes at the bosses that I wasn't expecting. Overall, this is a great game, though. If you're a DBZ fan, for $14.99, it's a good buy for you. Next up, we have Solasta Crown of the Magister. Another CRPG makes this list. This is based on the SRD 5.1 rule set of Dungeons and Dragons. I've played quite a few of these games, and I have to say Solasta sticks closest to the actual Dungeons and Dragons rules of any game that I've played. I play D&D on the side, and I feel like I'm right at home with this. You can make your character. They have a ton of expansions. Now they have the Barbarian, they have the Druid, they have a second campaign, and you're not limited to just the first and the second campaign. You also can download what other people have made in the Dungeon Maker, available to all players. If you're into CRPGs or if you're a Dungeons & Dragons fan, I highly recommend you pick up this game for $13.99. Next up on the list, we have Devil May Cry 5, an action game from Capcom. Capcom has not done this series wrong. Devil May Cry 5 is even more over the top than its predecessors. It has Nero, Dante, and V all battling the demons this time. It's a great game. I won't spoil too much about it. I would highly recommend this for anybody who's into that action or hack and slash combat. Next up, we got a classic game here at Final Fantasy VI. They've recently done the Pixel Remaster and uploaded it onto Steam this year. Final Fantasy 1 through 6 has all been remastered. And this is one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. I would probably say Final Fantasy 8, 9, and then 6 in that order. So it at least makes the podium. You have a ton of characters. I believe that's 22 characters are playable in here that constantly switch out throughout your journey. The story I thought is fantastic. The music is great. The Pixel Remaster gives a rebirth to an already great game. For $14.39, this game is well worth the 40 to 60 hours you'll put into it. Alright, up next on the list, we have Dragon Age 2 Ultimate Edition. I seem to share an unpopular opinion that Dragon Age 2 is my favorite Dragon Age game. It leans a little bit less into the tactical portion and more into the action RPG portion of it. I thoroughly enjoyed this game. I love the story. I love the drama to it. I love the combat. Everything about this game to me was great. I thoroughly enjoyed my playtime with it. And for $7.49, you can't beat it getting the Ultimate Edition. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Origins, another one of my favorite Assassin's Creed games. I love the ancient Egypt setting. I like the protagonist. I like the world, the action. It did lean more into the RPG portion. This is where the RPG portion of Assassin's Creed actually started. And I really enjoyed that, where it took a little bit of a step back from the stealth and more into the action. I know a few people out there didn't like that, but for $11.99, the game's beautiful, the game is fun, you'll have a ton of fun with it. The deluxe edition, $13.99, includes some DLC as well. That's all worth it. Go ahead, pick this game up. Alright, up next, we're getting close to the end here. We have A Plague Tale: Innocence. This is the tale of Amica and Hugo, and they're on a journey through the plague, and there's not a ton of combat. This is more of a, I would say, a dramatic adventure game if I really had to put words into it. It is a great game. It had great reviews. It had great marks when it came out a couple of years ago. $9.99 is a great time to pick it up. Plague Tale Requiem just dropped as well, so I would pick this one up and play Innocence first, and then pick up Requiem, and I would play that one. Requiem was up for a couple awards during the Game Awards as well, so you know it's a quality game if it's making the Game Awards. Next up on the list, we have Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown. This is the Top Gun Maverick Ultimate Edition, coming in staggeringly at $19.99. This is a great deal. I remember that the Top Gun Maverick DLC was going for a ridiculous amount when it first came out, so I was really pleased to see that when the Ultimate Edition came out, it's only $19.99, and you get the Season Pass, you get the Top Gun Maverick, and the base game. The base game alone, even if you don't want to spend the $20, the base game alone at $9.59 is great. It's a great experience. I played it on the PS4. On PC, it's even better. The graphics are fantastic. The particle effects are beautiful. The skyboxes that you fly through look semi-realistic, actually. I highly recommend this if you're a flight fan, any kind of flight combat. I would recommend this game to you very highly. Last up on the list, we have Forza Horizon 4. This is my personal favorite Horizon game. I like the Britain setting. I love the fact that it changed the seasons and you could actually see it. That was one of the downfalls for me in Horizon 5, is that the seasons changed and not a lot of the world did. So I really like to see the beautiful, vibrant colors of fall, or driving a car off-road and you're driving through 10 inches of snow. It's a beautiful game. It's a great game. The racing is tight. The customization is great. The car list is enormous. Coming in at $19.79 for the standard edition. If you're a racing fan, this is a must-buy. Well, there you go, guys. There's 22 games on the Steam Winter Sale that are under $20. If you want to see more of this content, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what games you're picking up.